Tonight, a WSU alum was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
And the Spokane car dealership is moving soap. One of your favorite fast food restaurants can take its spot. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Jasmine Brown.
And I'm Promise Calloway. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
According to the Pullman Radio, 2 WSU students are scheduled to travel to Indianapolis later this month for this NFL's Scouting Combine as one of 6 collegiate teams recognized in a nationwide competition. Jugo Marfacia and Narmita Ray are both PhD students and together entered the NFL's 2020 Big Data Bowl competition to answer the question, when a running back takes a handoff, how many yards should we expect him to gain? As finalists, the 2 will meet coaches and league officials later this month to talk about their findings.
Pullman Radio announced that the Washington State University's Retirees Association shared plans for the planned Pullman Good Food Co-op at their monthly meeting today. The cooperative plans to open a full-scale natural food co-op with the support of around 275 community members. It will include a deli, a full-service bakery, health products, hot and cold beverage bar, and an open space for visitors to gather.
Washington State University communities will have an opportunity to explore equity and scholarships, places, and all the spaces between during the semi-annual Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Summit on Thursday, February 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. in the Cub Junior Ballroom. The summit is open to everyone and will be available via Zoom and live stream. The summit's theme is Space Between Equity and Scholarships and Place. The summit speaks to remind people that the work of equity and inclusion isn't just happening within certain recruitment but retention programs and student affairs.
According to the Moscow Pullman Daily News, Moscow Transit System may add a 3rd route this fall on the south side of Moscow if federal grant money is approved. Smart Transit Executive Director Dan Gray said the proposed route would include stops at or near Joseph Street, White Avenue, Altruist Park, Indian Hills Drive, the Grove Apartment Complex, and Public Health Idaho North Central District on East Palouse River Drive.
2 3-year-old twin boys died in a house fire in Weop, Idaho earlier Friday morning. According to the Clearwater County Sheriff, the sheriff's office responded to a fully engulfed structured fire shortly after 1 a.m. Due to the intensity of the flames, crews were unable to rescue the boys, and they were found dead inside the house after the fire was put out. The cause of the fire has not been released, but the Idaho State Fire Marshals are investigating.
According to jail records, Lori Eisenberg has been arrested for murder charges related to the 2018 death of her husband. She was booked into the Kootenai County Jail last night and is scheduled to appear in court next week. Her bond is set at $2 million.
A North Spokane car dealership is in the process of making way for Chick-fil-A. Last week, a sign was spotted on the automotive specialist reading Chick-fil-A on the way moving across from Wendell on Monday. The business has started the process of relocating to its new location. City of Spokane plans for the Chick-fil-A site were released back in January, showing the proposed site at 9304 North Newport Highway. The property would be split into a west and east property, with Chick-fil-A being developed on the western portion.
The WSU School of Hospitality and Business Management is about to expand their Hall of Fame this Friday. Jan Hazelton has worked in the hotel business for 30 years and will be inducted during the annual Bellhop Dinner. There she will speak about her accomplishments and experience in the field. Coming up, NASA's InSight lander on Mars detects something beneath the surface.
And we'll take a look at your 5-day forecast when Murrow News 8 returns.
The Trump administration is getting ready to request over $1 billion to be allocated to the coronavirus vaccine research and preparation. According to ABC News, this will be a part of a $2.5 billion plan to address the coronavirus and to prepare for the possibility of a global pandemic.
The Supreme Court ruled Tuesday that the parents of a 15-year-old boy cannot sue the federal agent who fatally shot him by firing across the U.S. and Mexico border. The ruling was a defeat for the parents of Sergio, who was on the Mexico side of the border when he was killed in 2010. He was shot by a Border Patrol agent who fired from the U.S. side of the border. An investigation by the American authorities concluded that the Border Patrol agent fired in self-defense in response to smugglers throwing rocks at him. Though there was no evidence found that Hernandez threw anything at the agent, the Border Patrol agent was charged with murder. But when the U.S. refused an extradited request, the parents sued. However, American courts threw their case out, concluding that the Constitution protects against excessive force did not apply to someone outside the United States.
Former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak has died in Cairo at the age of 91. He spent 3 decades in office before an uprising in Egypt. He was convicted of corruption and other crimes and was sentenced to life in prison but was released in 2017. NASA's InSight lander has results from its Mars trip, including geological activity and a strange humming sound that seemed to pulsate across the planet. The lander touched down in November of 2018 and has recorded more than 50 quakes since then.
According to CNBC, Disney CEO Bob Iger has decided to step down to work on more creative assignments. Disney announced that Bob Chapek will become the new CEO effective immediately. Iger will remain executive chairman of Disney through the end of 2021.
And now we have Asher Line with the weather forecast.
Thanks, Promise. Well, today was seasonably cold due to a mix of sun and clouds, still hovering around mid-40s for the high at about freezing for the low. Warmer temperatures, a little warmer though, thanks to that southeast breeze we have, about 5 miles an hour. Still relatively early sunset also at about 5:30 p.m. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, should be the same across the board except for slightly warmer temperature at 43 thanks to a slightly stronger breeze coming out of the southeast, still at about 7 miles an hour. Still 5:30 for tomorrow's sunset though. Now if we look at our state map, you'll see that there's a warm front moving across the state coming east. Right now it's currently over Seattle and Olympia. Even though they have rain, they're still hovering around low 50s for weather and low 40s for the low. Moving east towards Yakima and Tri-Cities, you'll see also warm front. No rain though, 50 for Yakima, 30 for the low, about the same for Tri-Cities. Warm front hasn't quite gotten to Spokane and Pullman, but they are sunny for today, low 40s. Now if we look at our 5-day forecast, like I said, that warm front should get to Pullman about Thursday, Friday. As you see on Friday, we have a peak of 56 for the week and bright sunny skies, but be sure to keep your eyes peeled for some light rain and snow as a cold front will be coming in right after that. As you see Saturday, chance of rain and snow with colder temperatures, so be sure to prepare accordingly for that. But fortunately, things should be melting right after that, as Monday should be bright and sunny skies again. Back to Jasmine and Promise back at the desk.
After the break, find out which WSU football player is at the NFL scouting combine.
And we will take a look at our WSU baseball team and how renovations are going at Bailey Brayton Field when Murrow News 8 returns.
Welcome back to Murrow News 8. I'm Carmen Ditto. Coug football has a noteworthy pair in Indianapolis this week for the NFL Scouting Combine. Wide receiver Desmond Patman and quarterback Anthony Gordon will do interviews, cognitive exams, and physical tests in preparation for the draft in April. In his last 2 seasons alone, Patman logged over 1,500 yards. The draft prospects had physical measurements yesterday where his over 10-inch hands were a point of conversation. Those hands caught 13 touchdowns in his last 2 noteworthy seasons, 8 of which were thrown by Gordon. The quarterback broke both WSU and Pac-12 touchdown passing records as he logged 48 touchdowns and claimed another Pac-12 record for yardage. Last night, Oregon basketballer Sabrina Ionescu became the first player in both women and men's Division I history to log 2,000 points, 1,000 assists, and 1,000 rebounds. She led her team to a 74-66 victory over Stanford just hours after speaking at Kobe and Gianna Bryant's celebration of life in Los Angeles. Cougar Baseball's home schedule begins next week against Niagara University. Now we've got Jane McDonald down at Bailey Brayton Field to give us an update on the team and the new complex. Jane, how are things looking over there?
Well, Carmen, the construction is still underway here at Bailey Brayton Field, and the Cougs are coming back from a great win against Hawaii. Now, if you take a look behind me here, the construction is still underway. As you can see, they're about 7 months in at the moment. The construction should be done by 2021, meaning next week for the first home game of the season. The Cougs will not have this nice new facility, but the field will be ready for some action. So, reporting live from Bailey Brayton Field, I'm Jane McDonald. Back to you, Carmen, at the desk.
Thanks, Jane. Now for a look into Coug tennis. The Wazoo women completely shut out Fordham yesterday with a 7-0 victory. With this win, the team advances their season record to 8-2 and will play again Friday at San Diego. That's all I've got for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Today is National Pancake Day. IHOP is celebrating their pancakes today. So if you have time, grab yourself a pancake. We'll be back.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes.
She said we're going to drop it. Did you hear it?
That means it could be you.
Does that mean we move it
Your
up to
favorite
before
brother.
the break? Because now we're going to
Your
talk about
other brother. You, your football buddy. Your football buddy. You, the boss.
Okay.
The boss's boss. If
No,
1 in 3
she said
adults has
say happy.
pre-diabetes,
Not
that
gonna
means
say
it could be you.
Yeah.
Your barber.
You could.
Your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker.
On your left.
Your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot. Your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
Oh, happy National Pancake Day.